striking on one lane more than the other.
Well, this is truly a friendship handshake because these two young ladies travel together and live together here on the LPBT National Tour along with Anne-Marie Pike. And, well, they're bowling for the title here, so we'll see what happens to friendship when the competitive fires are stoked up a little bit. Left-hand lane for Wendy Macpherson, who finished with an 8-bagger in game number 3 to defeat Betty Morris.
I can tell you, Denny, that Wendy probably went up to Karen and said, "It's nice to see you."
And comes right out of the gate with a blistering strike, and Wendy Macpherson has now won 6 consecutive matches on national television. That young lady is fearless.
Yes, she is. A little better than my match play record on television, as you recall, in the summer. Denny, I had 4 fifth-place finishes. Couldn't quite win that #1 match.
It's tough when you get stuck in a rut like that. Opening shot for the tournament's top seed. She's going to attack it. She trips out the 4-pin, so both players starting with a strike, and there's your first look at Karen Ellingsworth. Only title was a U.S. Open victory in 1984, and 220 for the week. Boy, that was 8 pins higher than Wendy Macpherson, who finished second in the average chase this week.
Well, Karen definitely outbowled the whole field this week, and as I mentioned earlier, it's because she was able to play deep in the track area and also play outside, never run into any trouble, whereas the other players all had a block where they didn't score well.
Uses lots of loft, and she needs a little help, and turns and spins around and sees the 5-7 standing. What kind of a spare shooter is Karen Ellingsworth, and what kind of a shot does she have here to convert the 5-7, Leila?
Well, I think she'll go for the 5-7 because it is a relatively easy spare when you come right down to it. You just need to hit just on the right-hand side of the 5-pin, and with the way the balls are deflecting towards the pocket, I think that's going to be possible.
Karen Ellingsworth bowled collegiately at Penn State University, one of the top collegiate bowlers in the country, gives it a run, caught up, and doesn't quite get there. So the first mistake, the first chink in the armor provided in frame number 2 by the top seed. Now, Wendy Macpherson, who's been an opportunist here this afternoon. Let's see what she does here in the second.
Well, Denny, Wendy really does have the advantage coming into this game now. Karen's been off on the side, thinking about what she has to do. Wendy's been on the lanes finding a line. And when she finished out the last game with 8 strikes in a row, then she's able to really get lined up and get loose.
I know you want to be the top seed because the money is guaranteed, but as you see a strike on the right-hand lane, toughest thing in the world is to be the top seed and face somebody who just comes off a big game because they are loose and they are lined up, and hey, you don't have much time to get ready.
That's right. You only have 6 balls as the top seed that you are able to throw out there as practice. And that's not a lot of time to make all those decisions that we were talking about earlier. What lane do you want to start on? Do you want her to start? And the other things that you have to think about.
Plenty up for grabs here in the title match of the AMF Virginia Classic. Week number 2 on ESPN for the LPBT. Trying for 3 in a row. Good roll, and wow. That's a big-time shot there in the 3rd frame. So she starts off with the first 3. She's now thrown 11 in a row. If she strikes one more time, it could be an Andy Verapapa 300, Leila Wagner.
Well, I'm sure Wendy isn't thinking about that at this point. However, she does just want to come out and make good shots.
Back to live action, needing a strike to kind of keep pace. Good shot on the right-hand lane. It appears that Karen is very comfortable on lane 18. A little light on 17. Let's see what kind of an adjustment she makes this time around.
I think she'll make the adjustment here. The ball will actually come into the pocket a little bit better.
Taking a real good look at the rack on lane 17. Lady pros don't re-rack much, do they, Leila?
Well, we do more in qualifying and in the finals, I think. I've really never noticed too many problems with the racks during the TV finals. But we have a tendency to look at it more. Now, apparently, Karen felt her 5-7 was left because of maybe a possible pin being offset.
Almost left it again that time, but off the wall. 5-pin gets taken out, and the 7-pin remains. Wendy Macpherson leads by 34 at this stage. And there you see what happened during the week. The position round game last night didn't really mean much to Karen Ellingsworth. It did mean quite a bit to Wendy to hang on to second place, so she won there, but Karen won during the match play proper session this week. Cross alley spare, picks off the 7-pin. Now the burning question. And Wendy Macpherson continued to strike. Well, boy, she's been awesome here.
Yes, she has.
And she's tough. She struggled the first 3 or 4 frames.
She did, and I think she definitely made that adjustment to the left.
You got a problem.
Yep.
Little problem on lane 17.
Head pin dropped on lane 17.
I think that constitutes a re-rack.
What's that?
It does constitute a re-rack.
Sure. Have you ever shot a rack without the head pin?
Just in practice.
It's tough to strike because you don't realize how important that head pin really is.
Yes, it is.
Maybe that slight distraction there threw Wendy Macpherson off a little bit. She talks to herself on the way back to the end of the approach. So the Andy Papa 300 goes for naught, right, Leah? For those of you who don't know what that is, Andy Papa, whenever he threw 12 in a row, whether it was in the middle of 2 games, in practice, anywhere, anytime, any place, he felt it was a 300, and he ended up with like 88 or 89 of them in his career. But
I don't think I could have ever kept track with it.
Sure. That was a running thing with him.
Yeah.
Karen Ellingsworth looks up at the scoreboard and realizes.
Well, she does have a chance now because Wendy is not going to roll 300 at her.
Yeah, she trails by 33, but still plenty of time left here.
Yes, it is.
Wendy Macpherson defeated Betty Morris in the semifinal game, 245-224.
This is where these two players are so different in their games. Wendy setting the ball so short, and Karen getting the ball out on the lane.
Well, she's now struck 12 out of the last 13 and 4 out of 5 here. Karen Ellingsworth has thrown 2 very good shots on the right-hand lane. And she's going to need to stay alive there. The adjustment for her has to be the left-hand lane.
She's come up both times light on lane 17. Let's see if she makes any type of adjustment. There you get a good shot of Karen putting the ball well out onto the lane.
Oh, no. In the 6-7 stands, Karen turns around in disbelief. And she's got her hands full here in the 5th.
Well, she really shouldn't have made any adjustment on lane 18, and I don't think she did. I think she just ended up pulling the ball a little bit inside the target, and it broke at the last minute.
Well, it sure did, 6-7. Karen's got to pull on all the stops here and give this a real shot. Gets it way out on the lane. Ball starts to hook back. How about it? Oh, gee, that was about as close as you could get without making it. But now she trails by 46, and the hole is getting deeper and deeper.
I have to say, Denny, however, I do remember in the 5th frame when I did beat my roommate, Lori, that was 40-50 pin deficit.
And now it's 46. Anything can happen. Boy.
That's right, and Karen has to keep a positive attitude towards that and just get up and make the adjustments and try to strike.
Well, this time the bucket almost stands, but still a difficult spare. And Karen Ellingsworth really struggling on lane 17. That's been her demise thus far.
Now, she has gone like 3 times on lane 17. I'm surprised that she hasn't actually gone through the head pin and made a major adjustment.
I think sometimes the viewers at home get the impression the players are standing in the same spot, throwing the same shot over and over, but they're really moving on every single shot, changing speeds, changing angles, and they're slight, they're varied, but believe me, she's trying to throw strikes on the left-hand lane.
That's very true, and she could be doing a variation of her wrist position, or, like you said, her speed, and I'm sure she is moving very slowly to the right on lane 17 with her feet to get the ball to angle more into the pocket. However, it's just catching the oil a little bit. And it's